Welcome to Spectrum TV News at 12. I am Uyai Anyekan, coming to you live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. Let's take a look at the headlines. Federal government to study Supreme Court ruling halting enforcement of cash swap deadline. CBN directs banks others to guard against terrorism-related transactions. Plus, Turkey, Syria earthquake death toll soars to nearly 16,000. We'll bring you details of these stories and more in a moment. Thanks for joining us. We begin this afternoon with a report that the federal government said it is studying the ruling by the Supreme Court that halted temporarily the move by the federal government and the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, to phase out the old 200 naira, 500 naira, and 1,000 naira notes from February 10. Special Advisor to the Attorney General of the Federation, AGF, Jibrin Umar Gwandu, and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami stated that the federal government is studying the ruling and will take necessary steps within the context of the rule of law before the 15th day of February 2023, when the matter is adjourned for hearing. Meanwhile, the federal government said it had no funds to finance the establishment of another agency or agencies in Nigeria, as the ones already in existence were already too many. It disclosed this in Abuja at the ministry's department and agencies consultation session to review the proposed draft of the Creative Industries Development Bill. The Director General Budget Office of the Federation, Ben Akabweze, said the Nigeria Creative Industries Development Bill 2023 seeks to establish a creative industries. Akabweze noted that while the government continues to support the creative industries, it will not support the creation of additional agencies because it lacked funds for such. He observed that there were two key parts of the proposed bill, as the first had to do with the establishment of the commission, while the second was on the provision of an enabling environment. In the meantime, the federal government, through the agency of the Nigeria Customs Service, has said that the Benin Republic trade policy is hostile to Nigerian traders. The Customs Area Controller in charge of Simi Command, Dera Nandi, said this at the command headquarters. Nandi blamed the Benin Republic trade policy for the death of imports through the command, noting that the command has recorded 5 import declarations with a total duty paid value of 13 million naira paid in 10 days. According to him, within the period under review, 122 trucks carrying 3.77 metric tons of made in Nigeria products were exported. Away from that, the International Monetary Fund (IMF) has urged the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) to go beyond recent increases in the policy rate to implement additional actions, including sterilizing the Apex Bank's financing of fiscal deficits under its Ways and Means window, as well as phasing out other credit intervention programs. The multilateral lender also called on the Nigerian authorities to expedite action in finalizing the moves to securitize the 22.7 trillion overdraft extended by the CBN to the federal government to finance annual fiscal deficits. In a statement, the IMF stated that strengthening the CBN's independence and establishing price stability as its primary objective is critical. According to the IMF, Nigeria's economy has recouped the output losses sustained during the COVID-19 pandemic, supported by favorable oil prices at sea had on January 16, 2023, listed out of individuals and entities that are subject to assets on. In a mandate in the Ikoyi Custodial Center to commence his prison term for laundering. The head media and publicity of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission in Lagos recalled that the appellate court on July 5th of Justice T.A. Kume through its lawyer Paul Anamba consider and rule on the various preliminary object tribunal to hear the petition, but proceeded to determine the merit committee SDCC in the state. Speaking during the inauguration ceremony held at the state function was necessary in view of the increasing numbers. He charged the committee led by the wife of the governor fight against drug abuse. In an interview with journalists, the chairperson of the Addict in order to counsel and reports that the committee is made up of Bassi and President Mohamed Gouazzani. The two sides that Mauritania is interested in supplies of hydrocarbon for Mauritania and other African countries. Russian Foreign Minister added that goals that the United States and its allies maintain in the still in Africa. A high court in Malawi, Chizuma was interdicted reports. She accused some top officials in government of seeing nearly 16,000 people are reported as rescue efforts near the 72-hour mark Wednesday conceded shortcomings after criticism of his government committee DEC have launched an appeal to help thousands of people in UK and the British Red Cross, which work together to raise money in as well as blankets, warm clothes and heaters as still to come in the news. Benzema Malicio to join Madrid. Thanks for staying tuned, and now to the rest of the news. Stabilized, and this was why queues were still prevalent in many. Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited be tough to enforce the 195 naira per litre government-approved EC had provided Ipman that it had supply challenges. Accelerates petrol retail services across its 54 stations across the country and has slashed petrol price to 195 naira per litre on pricing in line with its commitment to partnering with the Nigerian National. Required disciplined players who must stick to exceeding mainland oil valued its unwavering reputation in health. 17 suspected cases of Commissioner of Health and Human Services Dr. Joseph Ngbe. This become a public health concern in Nigeria and in Benue, with 11.7% saying it is not just worrisome but of rats. Laboratory in Ado-Ekiti, the Ekiti state capital, stated that the laboratory was built in collaboration with the Ekiti Government and Response Project. He added that the project was aimed at Coach Carlo Ancelotti, says Karim Benzema today. The duo missed the 4-1 win over Egypt's Al Ahly, and Malaysia had tie issues which kept them out of the doors. Will not be ready, along with other injured players. Sports Napoli president Aurelio De Laurentiis hasn't from the club in the summer. Laurentiis made the assertion while soup for his talismanic frontman, the new Marquis number 9 to his ranks, but his hand goes in on the Serie A title. 1,000 employees as CEO Bob E's tech giant dialing back from a hiring spot, first ever fall in subscribers last quarter as consumers consider. Super Bowl halftime show, one of the biggest in music. Rihanna has not toured or released an album since 2016, will signal a bigger music comeback later. And that's all we have for you at this time. Do well to follow us on social media. TV News at 12. I am Uyai Anekan.